Welcome to It Takes Two. I'm Blair.
I'm Chris.
And today we'll be talking about Love and Marriage Huntsville, Season 6, Episode 19.
Hey, listen here, man. Before we get into it, make sure that y'all subscribe, like, share, comment on this episode. This was a good episode, Blair. Let's get into it.
Okay. Well, we start off with the conversation that Mel and Marsau were having about him taking jabs at her, unwarranted.
It was a continuation from last week, right?
Right. Mm-hmm. And Marsau's stance is saying, he can't share his opinion without people thinking it's jabs.
Okay.
And the t-shirt business is a small business that's not doing something, not bringing in income in his eyes. Mel asked if they got paid for the expo. And Marsau pretty much tells her it's none of her business.
Yeah, it is none of your business.
And Marsau points to the fact that, look, Mel, like, your businesses have ended.
Yeah.
And
bankrupt.
Yeah, Marsau said she filed for bankruptcy. And she said she got divorced. Martell filed for bankruptcy, and he was going to leave her with a heaping debt. So she filed for bankruptcy because she was not about to take all that on by herself.
I feel you.
And the reason that Marsau, because he filed bankruptcy too, she said was because your money ain't right.
Hey, wait.
Your money funny.
We ain't talking about me now. Okay? We not talking about me. My money ain't funny. You don't know my business. Continue.
She also brings up the current lawsuit he's in. And she says she's been in business for over 10 years. Like, get real, Marsau.
Yeah.
He says he doesn't know what she does.
I don't either, really.
And she says that she does property preservation.
Okay.
The same thing that she helped him get into.
Listen, Marsau is so funny. Marsau is probably the funniest character on the show. And the reason why I say character, because, listen here, I believe everybody here is being themselves, but they just turn it up a notch.
Oh, yeah.
And I feel like Marsau is the funniest character because he's like, hey, listen, how come whenever I give my opinion, people think I'm taking jabs? He's like, it is jabs.
Because it's jabs.
Yes. it is jabs, but it's funny jabs. You get what I'm saying? Continue. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, he doesn't value the product business, but he does value property reservation. And he was like, if you would have just said that, that's something I value. Yeah. Well, Marsau, nobody really cares what you value. Okay. He feels the Fletchers made it seem he was taking jabs, but it was part of a larger conversation. Him downplaying her business acumen is a disgrace, per Mel. And he stated he won't downplay her business acumen anymore. He has a high opinion on property preservation and lets Mel know about the town hall meeting that's going to come up to where people can get their feedback.
Yeah, listen here. I think Marsau, like, there's been rumors. I don't know if y'all remember, like, back in the early seasons, of, like, maybe Marsau got a crush on Mel. I don't think Marsau got a crush on Mel. I think he likes picking on Mel.
I think he likes their banter. Like, she holds
exactly,
her own.
Exactly.
And
I was going to say exactly that.
And it's fun for him.
I was going to say exactly. I don't think he have a crush with Mel, but she's the only one that won't cry. She is the only one that probably won't get personal. She will cut deep enough to where he feel it, but not deep enough to where it's like they're not talking no more.
Right.
It's stuff like that. So, like, I think he likes that sparring and things like that because that's what he does. But people get sensitive.
Yeah.
With Mel, she gets even, and like I think he really likes that. What did you think about this scene?
Yeah, I mean, I felt like Marsau, he was still trying to be aloof and just being like, well, I don't know what you do and I don't really value this. And it's like, Marsau, you were in business with the Holts. Like Mel said, she brought you into property preservation. And it's like you're just choosing to be ignorant. And that's the part where I think where you're saying, like, people come on the show and then turn their personality up 1,000. It's just kind of like, okay, now you're just being unreasonable.
Yeah, like, it's like this is really who I am, but like on steroids. You know what I mean? And like, and he's just funny, and they both funny. Continue.
Yeah, but for this, I think Marsau, I don't take Marsau seriously. Because I think he's trolling.
Yeah,
like,
and
he does it for fun. To me, it's not that deep. So,
and the funny thing about it is, I don't even think the little friendship that Mel and Marsau have, the little friendship, when I say little, I mean little friendship.
Yeah.
I don't even think it was even at risk with this conversation. Like, it's just, I think Mel, I'm not going to go so far as say Mel likes the banter, because I think Mel likes being left alone more than the banter. But I think Marsau, he really likes someone that could go back and forth with him and things like that.
Go toe to toe with
exactly. Him. And like it's just all fun to him. Whenever he hears, listen, you were scared because Tisha was going to be with a powerful woman like me and see her true worth and leave me. To him, that is just all funny to him. And that give him time to actually iron sharp as iron. Yeah. That was an iron sharp as iron match, not a sword fight. You get what I'm saying?
And I do feel like Mel, she knows how Marsau is. I think a lot of the time she don't take him too serious anyway. But I think her point was just like, okay, now you're crossing the line talking about what I do and how I don't know anything and all I do is tell t-shirts. Like, don't put that out there that I'm like that. Because we all know that's not true. Yeah. And I think that's the point she was trying to make and just wanted him to acknowledge and like, like, you do all your funny stuff, whatever, but that's not cool.
Yeah. But Marsau did make a good point, though, which it was a good point mixed in with a little troll to where he was like, look, you have a platform. Like, you're on the number 1 rated reality TV show. Everybody not gonna be able to do what you do because you have that platform. You gonna be talking to a people. What did I just say? You are going to be talking to a group of people that don't have platforms, who think that they could do what you do, but they don't have the basic resources that you have. Right. That was the only nugget that I got out of their little sword fight. You get what I'm saying? But let's get to the next scene because this scene is actually very interesting, and I really want to know what you thought about it.
Okay. Yep. So we have a picnic with Lou, Tiffany, and baby Ace.
What's up, Ace?
And Tiffany is wanting Lou to spend more time at home. Ooh. She didn't expect postpartum depression to affect her. Okay. Lou says that we knew life would be different. He told Tiffany, he took some time off when the baby was first born. But once he knew home was good, he went to go back to work to take care of business. She's thinking when Lou comes home or when he's away, like, will he still love her the same way after he's been on the road? Will he get distracted by other women? And Lou says, look, I'm on the road because of my family. Of course, there's temptation in life, but I know where home is and I'm not going to mess up a good thing that I have. And he is present when he's at home. He takes care of the baby. He's not just sitting around and sleeping and chilling. Tiffany touches on, well, your dad wasn't around for you. And do you want the baby to feel that way? And he was like, honestly, when I was a baby, I didn't know my dad wasn't there.
When did I say that?
I'm not traumatized by that. He said he wasn't around in my teenage years, my formative years. And that's when I felt the impact. And Tiffany just needs him to be more present. She needs quality time and physical touch for herself. And he says he'll do better of making sure that she gets what she needs. But he also points to the fact of saying, is it something that you're not getting at all or that you need more of? And he's like, sometimes, I mean, you're always going to want more and more. He basically was trying to say that, hey, are you saying I'm not doing something? Because there's facts and then there's lies. What did you think about this scene? Because I had to, when I first watched it, I had to take off my I don't like Tiffany glasses and my I don't like Tiffany ears. So what do you think about this scene? Because I kind of have a different thought than I did when I saw it last night. Well, to me, I felt like Tiffany was just reaching out for help. Okay. I think that for some reason, and I don't know why, she thought that she'd be able to jump back into life with a baby and everything would be fine and normal. I mean, she pressed for the baby so hard. So for her to be in the reality of what it is and it's shocking her, I'm just kind of like, I don't know what you want anybody to say, Tiffany. I mean, everybody warns you. Lou told you what it was going to be. And I think that might even make it 10 times harder for her because she's like, I know this is what you said, but I'm actually feeling it now. And it's actually like a lot. Well, all Lou can do is support her in the way he can, but he has to work. Like, I don't know what she wants him to do.
Lou was sitting there with the, I can't believe we're talking about this face. He was basically sitting there with the, okay, now, you're venting. I understand the venting, and now you're just talking in circles. Now you're manipulating my father not being there for me. And
I thought that was wild to bring that up.
And you're trying to guilt trip me to a jobless life to be around my son Ace. Let it be known, I'm not a big fan of Tiffany, but I only bring compassion only for this part. that she actually said what she felt to her husband. Mm-hmm. I don't really give credit to what she said more than she actually shared it.
Yeah.
You know? Because in my head, I'm like, what made you think that you were special enough, or maybe not special because I'm not insulting her in this moment. What made you think that you was unique enough that, like, you having a baby, you wasn't going to go through what every woman that has a baby go through? Mm-hmm. Dude, you get what I'm saying? Like, what make you think that, like, you can juggle everything? Mm-hmm. You know, like, this Superman complex. And one thing that I thought of was she wants him to be more present when there's a baby. Like, when a baby comes, the man goes into, okay, I really need to really buckle down on finances and work.
Yeah, providing mode. Mm-hmm.
Now watch this. The baby is just as important as the marriage. Mm-hmm. When y'all was in therapy, right, mm-hmm. and you had to leave for work mm-hmm. or take calls for work and things like that, when the shoe is on the other foot, just because there's another life involved, we're not going to value one more than the other. Mm-hmm. You get what I'm saying? So I think she actually getting to experience what Lou was experiencing in that couples therapy a couple seasons ago. Mm-hmm. Of like, hey, you're doing a lot and our marriage is suffering. You know? Even if it's not suffering to the point of divorce, it's like, I don't feel like you're present. Mm-hmm. Now her words is, I don't feel like you're present.
Yeah.
And that's when it's like, just because the baby's here, right? What I said without the baby being here is still valid, mm-hmm. you know? So, like, just hearing how things is just coming back full circle, it's like, okay, I now give her respect for what she said. Mm-hmm. One thing that she said was that she didn't realize how much that he does for her mm-hmm. and does for the house when he's not there because she has to do everything. So, I think they will be okay. Mm-hmm. I think this is the growing pains of just being parents. Mm-hmm. You get what I'm saying? So respect to Tiffany, respect to Lou. Hopefully the best for y'all, and hopefully y'all get the ball rolling. Usually what happens is when, like, you have a new child or a new experience, momentum stops. Mm-hmm. The ball stops, and it takes a while to get the ball rolling. But once the ball get rolling, you gonna be right back to yourself. You should be right back to, you know, working out and things that she's missing now that she can't do. You mm-hmm. know what I mean? So, like, I think they gonna be all right.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah. Well, we get to the town hall meeting.
Town hall meeting.
To give feedback on the Black Expo.
Now, the crazy thing about this is I didn't know, or it didn't come to mind that this was Kimmie's meeting.
Yeah, she pulled it together because, like they were saying, Tisha and Marsau, or more so Tisha, probably can get very emotional about the stuff.
Yeah.
So Kimmi, I think, was kind of going to be the mediator for the situation.
Yeah, she said it was her meeting. I wish she was there on time first.
True.
But continue.
Yeah. Well, we get feedback from everybody. Uh-huh. Some of the high points were that Mel thinks that they should learn about their audience and have speakers to cater to it, have like breakout sessions for people to speak with people in their fields.
Of course.
Tisha agreed with that, and that was something they initially wanted to do, but for some reason it wasn't able to get panned out. Stormi thinks that motivational mindset is important because a lot of people don't have the finances and resources to necessarily get their business off the ground that way, but they do need like a mental push. Marsau, I feel like doesn't have a high value of motivational speaking. He feels like it can fall flat and people don't do anything with it. It's just kind of I don't remember exactly what he said, but basically, you know, like wait on God type of thing.
Yeah, he basically see it as magic. Yeah. He basically see it as like they leave here with nothing. Like they still leave with not knowing what to do or how to do anything. Right. You know, go ahead, continue. Later.
Yeah. Stormi, she combated that and was saying, well, you know, I don't want to know why you want to dismiss my idea, or that's not exactly what I was saying when I was talking about motivational mindset. And Marsau was like, well, I'm not saying that you said that. Like, this is just...
You basically used it just motivational. I'm just using the same just you use.
Yeah, and giving his opinion. To me, it just was a conversation, but Stormi took offense. I think she's just... Here on out, I think she's going to take offense to Marsau because she doesn't like him. And she is still stuck in the $100 situation. She brings that up again. And I'm like, Stormi, when are you going to get over
Let
this?
the $100 go. Like, let it go.
I mean, okay, that happened. They talked about it ad nauseum. I'm just like, okay, we get it. What else?
There's nothing else, Blair. If you're looking for something else, there's nothing else. Go ahead, continue.
Yeah. Well, Mel, she felt like, we can help people with networking. Stormi thinks Marsau is too sassy.
Yeah.
Courtney was saying that he thinks Tisha should be talking. He thinks Tisha's more organized.
Yeah. Now, let's pause right there because I don't want to go past each point. First of all, Stormi, I'll be happy when you're off the show. I'm just going to get right there. You're ruining my show. I've been watching this show ever since season 1. I forgot what season you came on. Probably the last 3 seasons or something like that where you was a pop in, pop out, pop in, pop out. Now you're a main character. You're ruining my show. Stormi, you're ruining my show. Okay, really. And this idea that you're taking things personally, that was Kimmie's whole point, was to bring people in there that wouldn't be taking things personally, that it could actually be a constructive criticism.
Yeah.
And now you're messing up the whole... Because one thing everybody kept saying was they walked in and they felt the tension in the air. First of all, this town meeting was a bad idea. Because I refused to take ideas from people who didn't want to participate. That I had to pull tooth and nail for you to participate. So you worried about getting paid for the event. You worried about all these other things about the event. That, oh, well, if I don't get paid, I'm not going to do it. But then, like, when it's time to critique, you have your iPad ready, you got your notes ready, you got your pen ready. And it's so easy to critique something that you're not the spearhead for. You get what I'm saying? So, like, I don't know what was the spirit of this idea. But one thing Marsau said or kept saying was that, hey, whatever's going to happen here, I'm going to take it and I'm going to use it for the next Black Expo. Like, however y'all give it, I'm going to use it as feedback. I'm going to use it as positive feedback. And basically, I'm going to implement what y'all say. The whole Stormi, she's taking it to places that is dangerous. And when I say dangerous, I don't mean like somebody's going to die. But you're taking it to a place that it doesn't have to be.
Yeah.
Like causing arguments with this man. And then Courtney's there basically like trying to turn them against each other because that's what they was trying to do. They was trying to divide and conquer. Basically like, hey, I think Blair's better than you, Chris. You hogging the mic a little bit too much during these review shows. I think Blair should talk more. You get what I'm saying? And then that puts something in that plants a seed in your head that 10 episodes from now, you gonna be like, you know what, Chris, you talk too much. And I'll be like, you know what, guys, hold on one second. You okay? You know what I mean? Like that's what they was trying to do. They were trying to plant seeds in their head so they can divide and conquer. So let's continue to get down on some more points that they was going to. One thing that Martell did say though, which actually everybody's idea was kind of, I say, okay. Like, Martell was the only one that actually gave a great idea. Do you remember what he said?
No.
He said that I don't think that we should put a cap on what business you do not respect and what businesses you do respect. What careers you do respect and what careers you don't respect. He was like, when I was cutting grass and that was my business and things like that, that was a 6-figure business for me and things like that. So besides only going for those elitist jobs and things like that, you probably gonna have more people there that's normal, that's
actual laborers,
that's actual cut grass type of people, besides people that want to be entrepreneurs.
Yeah,
that's how you can fall into the motivational type of things of it's just a mindset. It's just a mindset to where Martell could actually be like, look, man, I did this, and this, and this because cutting grass or something as I don't want to say as low as cutting grass, but something as simple as cutting grass. Usually have simple steps.
Yeah, like get a lawnmower.
Yeah, and he probably tell you what type of exactly.
And
he probably tell you what type of
you're off.
Exactly. So he probably could give you more step by step than someone who probably it's just your mindset.
Yeah,
you got to change how you think, and that's when I think that was the best advice we got out of that. But we got more points. Go ahead, Blair.
Yeah. Well, Marsau, after Courtney shares whatever he talks about, Marsau is like, well, Courtney, you really weren't there, so you really shouldn't have too much to say at today's meeting.
Facts.
And that's true, because you're just in here to do what? be the muscle for Stormi? Like,
exactly.
You weren't even there.
Exactly.
And you're over here telling me Tisha need to talk. Tisha get tongue tied. Okay.
Okay. We are not gonna shame our girl.
I'm not shaming Tisha, but Tisha also gets emotional and she storms out of places and walks around circles and buildings and stuff like that. So I'm just like, relax. We don't need your opinion on who needs to speak, Courtney.
Thank you, especially for someone that wasn't there.
Exactly.
Continue.
Yeah. Next, Kimmi is saying Marsau is saying a lot of negative things during the meeting.
Okay.
Marsau's being catty and it's rubbing off on Courtney and Stormi. Stormi thought this meeting would be like a collective for them to come together to throw the next expo, but not for the Scotts to do it. She was like, oh, well, if that's what it is, then y'all got it. Y'all need to listen to me. Stormi, were you there when they talked about what the point of the expo was? I don't know why you're thinking it's for y'all all to throw it. Nobody said that.
Does she see the spelling of Black Expo?
Exactly.
I'm
like, where did you get that from? Mel said some parts weren't thought out or organized. Tisha said it was organized, but some behind the scenes stuff should have been better. And Tisha said, we just aren't going to talk about like some of the things that feeds into it. And Mel said, well, no, we're going to talk about the prior things that feed into it because it feeds into the actual event. And you can't disregard what I say. And then Mel ends up leaving because she finished her plate. So.
No question. I think Mel just came there to grab. She said she got a flight to catch. My thing is, and that's something. If I'm gonna be fair, I'm going to be. I don't like that either. If you gonna make time for a meeting, you have this is the meeting. Yeah. This is your agenda for the day. I do you find it some type of interesting? Because Mel found it interesting that Tisha was quiet the whole time until Mel said something.
Yeah, I feel like Tisha has got an issue with Mel still.
You think so?
Yeah, because Mel really, this whole meeting, she didn't say anything crazy. I felt like all of her points were actually very helpful. And she could have thrown digs and stuff like that because of how she felt that they treated her or handled her, but she really didn't. And I thought she came up with great ideas. So, no, I think Tisha... I mean, she don't like Marsau meeting up with Mel one-on-one.
And he did it again.
So I'm just like, I think Tisha just has an issue with Mel and isn't trying to hear her say nothing.
Well, I think she did say her soul was dark or something like that in the last reunion. Here's the thing about that. I think Mel is right about that in the sense of like, I didn't think it was catty until Tisha said something back. Because I'm like, you should just, even if you don't agree with the critique, you should just write it down and just let it move on. But the fact that she harped on it just for a second, it wasn't a lot, so I'm not gonna blame Tisha. But just the fact that she harped on it for a little bit, it made me go like, like, she said basically like, the behind the scenes, the $100 and things like that. And that's when like Tisha was like, well, I kind of want to talk about the event more than like the things behind the scene prior to. And like Mel, while she was looking for a trash can, was like, well, if the prior two ain't really organized, that's going to affect the main event.
Exactly.
I kind of sound like her a little bit right there. But I think there's something brewing to where like, do you kind of know how like you're just waiting for somebody to do something? And I think that's what Tisha's doing unfairly to Mel. Yeah. I think she's waiting for Mel to really like do something. And Mel been on her zen. She kind of been out of drama. So she really have no reason to get yelled at by anybody on the show. I think Tisha's waiting in the woodworks to be like, you see, like this why Mel is da 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 da. Yeah. So, but go ahead, continue.
Yeah. Well, Tiffany, she giving her perspective. I didn't even write down what she said for real.
Wow.
And then she was just saying like, oh, well, are you going to like value what we say? And then Marcel tells Tiffany like, I know you're not used to being valued, but you're valued here.
Okay. I like
that's Marsau being Marsau. And
don't say the word, please.
Right. Stormi's like, well, he's just acting like a B. And at first he ignores it, but she keeps repeating it. And then he addresses it and said like, yeah, I'm a B. And now what?
And he said, I'm a big bad bee.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, continue.
And Marsau says, is that your feedback, sweetie?
with the husband said right there,
And Marsau says, well, we know who's not getting invited next time. I just think he's funny. And I know people think like, oh, he's an a-hole, he's terrible, all this type of stuff. I just think he's funny. And Stormi, you're out of line. Why are you calling this man out of his name? Nobody did that to you. You just come across so nasty. Just awful.
And here's the thing, right? You keep putting your husband in weird situations. Private practice is going to bring public performance. You will call the wrong man to be. That's not going to diffuse the situation. They're going to escalate the situation, and they go smack you and your husband because you calling a man out his name. You get what I'm saying? And that doesn't make you look, what's the word? Like strong. It doesn't make you look correct. It makes you look immature. Yeah. It make you look childish.
And for her to go around being like, oh, you don't want to see Courtney. You don't want to see Courtney.
Courtney ain't say nothing this whole time.
He ain't say nothing this whole time. And also, Stormi, people don't just be fighting nowadays. Like, people bring weapons. Yeah. People don't be fighting fair. So for you to put your husband in a position to where like, oh, my husband will beat your tail. Well, somebody might
just shoot him.
Yeah, okay? Exactly. So, and then what? So it's just like these things can escalate, and Stormi just thinks her husband is just the biggest and baddest, which he might be, but he's not. But who's going to win in a gunfight?
The person with the bigger gun and quicker gun.
Exactly. So I'm just like, you're doing a lot.
I'm about to say he's not the baddest, and I'm not, and that is no disrespect. That's no disrespect. I'm just saying that in the sense of there's always someone badder than you. There's always somebody badder than the baddest man. You know what I mean? So like Stormi just over here, she's taking it to a place that you are actually making Marsau act more Marsau. And that's always great for the show.
He's just going to keep pressing it.
That's more for the show. He said in the confessional, he said, listen here, you keep trying until, he said, keep trying and trying and trying until you achieve the petty. Keep trying the petty. Keep trying. Because he's like, I know what she's trying to do. But as she go low, I'm going to go lower. You get what I'm saying? And I'm not going to go lower in the sense of I'm going to insult her more than she insulted me. I'm just gonna play to her little game because she's trying to upset me, and the more that she see that I'm not getting upset, that's gonna upset her. You get what I'm saying? It's like messing with a child. You know, continue.
And Courtney says, look, like, we don't be in stuff that's not organized.
Okay,
y'all were.
I'm about to say
even in your maybe I shouldn't say it, but even in y'all business, y'all was printing out labels on shampoo bottles for conditioner on
whatever it was that y'all had to do it all over again.
So I'm just like, it's coming off very like elitist, like y'all know better and all this type of stuff. Exactly. This was the first time, and things got to get fleshed out, and y'all got to get over the $100.
And then on top of that, didn't Stormi had to fire her own cousin because they wasn't organized because he was coming late to work or he was doing whatever he was doing at work.
Stuff happens.
So I'm like, y'all not exempt from like things happening. I understand that the Black Expo probably wasn't what people expected, but truth of the matter is nobody expected anything because nobody threw one. The Scots was the one that threw it. Yeah. And guess what? As bad or as good as it was, they threw it. If you feel like you could do better, you throw it. Yeah. And Maurice is there like, hey, what was unorganized? Like you had a big booth in the corner. Like if anybody feel cheated, it shouldn't be you. You had the biggest space. You know, so like it just comes off as Stormi just there to be catty and to be a disruptor. You get what I'm saying? Continue.
Yeah, and Stormi, you know, of course, brings up the $100. Yeah. She says they didn't know vendors were being asked to pay. Okay. And then she even turns to Kimmi and was like, well, Kimmi didn't know either. Okay. And then Courtney, he thinks Marsau talks too much and needs to mind his own business. Courtney, this is his business. This is their town hall meeting.
Dude, you see how the word black is spelled? It's literally their business.
What are you talking about? And then Marsau, he calls them Mr. and Mrs. Steele and tells them to have a good day, which is Stormi's last name.
Ooh, I love it.
And Stormi's like, Courtney doesn't care about that type of stuff, and because his last name is something else.
And then on top of that, like, she tried to say, he does this all the time, Courtney. He does this all the time. And Stormi tried to say, like, we left early because I ain't know how long. She always bring up her husband. She said, we left early because I don't know how long Courtney was going to be able to sit there calm. That man looked comfortable.
Yeah, he looked fine.
Yeah, exactly. He's not going to do nothing on these cameras and things like that. And if he does, that's dumb on his part. Yeah. My whole point is, Stormi, you're ruining my show. Okay? That is the gist of this episode for me. It's like, Stormi, I can really do very well without seeing you ever again in any scenes again. Because when Marsau want to spar with you, you call him the B word. Yeah. Everything that Marsau have done to Mel and all these things, that is one thing that Mel haven't done. You get what I'm saying? At least publicly.
Exactly.
You know, so it's just
keep it in the house,
please. Like it's dangerous. It's not respectful, and you're supposed to be this big entrepreneur and things like that. Black positivity, North Huntsville, whatever it is.
You come across looking so small
and ghetto.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. From a black person to another black person, I can call you ghetto, and like it won't be racist.
Yeah.
Okay. But is there anything else that happened in that meeting that really stuck out to you, Blair?
No, that was it. I mean, honestly, I felt like, as crazy as the meeting went, I kind of feel like it went well in a way. I feel like they did actually get some solid feedback if they can, sift through some of the attitudes. Yeah. But I feel like they got what they needed. And if people walked off angry, I mean, hey.
Now, here's the thing. Y'all got me feedback. Will I have y'all helping hands next time? The feedback is there for that's just words, but can y'all help me next time? That's gonna be the real question to see if this comeback group or like whatever this thing is gonna put something together next time. So let's move to the next scene.
Yep. Well, Kimmi invites Nell to her job. Okay. She wanted to tell Nell about the meeting, about the town hall before anyone tells her. Yeah. Kimmi didn't think that the meeting would hold value for Nell, yeah, because she wanted people who actually attended to give feedback.
Courtney, you shouldn't have been there, basically.
Yeah. Nell said that because Kimmi was saying she didn't want people to kind of like bring up just like their personal issues. Yeah. Like she kind of wanted it to really focus on the event. And Nell said she wouldn't have rehashed her issues with them. Nell thinks that she should have come to the meeting. And she said, at the brunch, at the baby reveal, you did invite me. So it's kind of messed up that in a way you kind of took it back. Yeah. Nell can respect Kimmi's decision, but she doesn't agree with it. Nell thinks that the core six should open themselves up to talk to other entrepreneurs in the area. And then Kimmi is just like, well, we can agree to disagree. And Nell says, well, we're Gucci.
Listen here.
Ode to Destiny.
Listen here. Shout out to Destiny and what is it called? Milani or
Madani.
Madani. I keep replacing the L with the D with an L. One thing that she said, listen here, we was here in North Huntsville before any of y'all. And Kim was like, what did that mean? What do that mean? What I think is this, and I'm gonna reach. This is gonna be a reach. I think Nell is jealous because you've been the North Huntsville queen, as they would say, but this show ain't built around you, and I think that's where the jealousy comes from. In some way, and I don't think it's jealousy that will affect like relationships, right? But I think there is a look at them. Carlos King built this show, Love and Marriage Huntsville. We're married, we're in real estate. They got Mel and Martell on there, and they divorced and things like that. We are really the kings and queens of North Huntsville. Yeah, and y'all don't invite us nowhere. Y'all don't involve us in anything. We've been here before all of y'all. Matter of fact, 2 of y'all is from Detroit. Yeah. Y'all not even from here. So I think there's a little of that.
Well, I think to me, I don't necessarily know if I would say jealous, but kind of like a respect thing. Like I feel like she would like people to respect their place in the community. Okay. The fact that their longevity, that they've been there. And in most situations, you do respect people who've paved the way for you and give them some type of homage. Yeah. And I do feel like they don't do that at all. And to now that's probably shocking because when she shows up in rooms and places, people probably do know who she is. Probably. And they do respect her work and, hold her to a high regard. And these people, I'm not going to say they're playing her to the left, but they're not respecting her as a pillar in the community.
Especially if she wants to be involved. Right. And that's probably what's confusing to her. Usually when people who are the OG of the community, they have some type of like, I let them do, I don't want to be involved and things like that. She's like, we want to be involved, but you're like, you're not needed. How? Right. We are North Huntsville. Yeah. So I think there's a little bit of that. I think this was a good conversation. At first, I was skeptical about Kimmi. I was like, why are you like keep having these private conversations about the thing? But I actually do think it's actually smart to withdraw that invitation because she said, Huntsville is pretty small. Word get around, and I don't want you to get word from everybody else that this town meeting happened without you. I wanted you to hear it from me. The reason why I like that is because even though Nell said like you could have trusted me to keep it professional, I'm not going to put my trust in people. I only put my trust in God. So the only way that I know that you're not going to do that is that you won't be there. Right. You know what I'm saying? So like I do respect Kimmi for that. But I do think like you hit the nail on the head. Maybe not jealousy, but like some type of like we don't get no acknowledgement. Yeah. Like we seen Melody and like Martell company fail.
And Mel and Martell go to them for
advice and that's what like like how like I'm your realtor. I'm your like you get what I'm saying? Like how are y'all more respected, or how do y'all think y'all are more respected than the ones that been here before y'all, that built something before you? You get what I'm saying? That had a daycare. And like it's just little things, little jabs, like, you know, Marsau, I don't know how true it is, but how he said, oh, I didn't know you have that. How do you not know that I have a daycare for 20 years in the community? You know, if they are as big as they believe they are. Yeah. So I do think there is a little, it's like that little itch that's like, y'all trying to do whatever y'all can. And what happens is if y'all get respect for this without showing respect to the ones that came before you, they do kind of get pushed out and pushed to the side.
And forgotten.
Yeah, so I do think there's a little bit of that. That was good. Continue.
Yeah. Well, we see Martell. He has found somebody new to leech onto.
That is not the notes. That is not the notes. Okay, that is not the notes.
He found a new host, as he is a parasite.
Okay.
To be a part of their business.
I say business partner.
Okay. Yeah. Well, Martell found a new host, and he is leeching off this man who is building houses, and so he is using his credentials, and Martell is doing whatever Martell be doing because he's not licensed to do the actual job.
Okay, thank you.
Next, bankruptcy. Martell says that bankruptcy hurt his credit, and that he is for a while couldn't, I guess, do all the things he wanted to do in business because of that. He says he's in a better place now. And he's back to real estate. Chris Fletcher arrives.
What's up, Chris?
Not long into their conversation, Chris asks, so when are you moving out the house?
Wait a minute. Say hi. Please. How you doing? How the kids? Go ahead, Blair.
It's been 2 weeks since Chris told Martell he needed to be out. The owner is pissed.
Yes.
And Martell says his goal is to be out by the 1st. But he says, you know, I'll try to be out sometime next week. And Chris is like, that'll be after the 1st.
Yeah, that'll be after the 1st, buddy.
And Chris is like, you don't think you can get out by the weekend? And Martell said, nope.
No, I don't think so.
No, I can't get out by the weekend.
I don't think I can.
And Chris saying that Martell needs to get the hell out.
Listen here. Chris. Relax, man. I understand Martell, and listen here. I'm just getting my little 2 cents in because Blair's going to go in on this rant. I'm going to give just a preview of what her rant will be. He's a leech. He needs to grow up. He's immature. He's homeless. Blah, blah, blah. Right? My thing is, Martell, you're putting your people in bad situations. That's all I'm saying, right? He gave you 2 weeks, right? So everything you about to say about Martell, Blair, is justified, right? I'm just saying, if you go get in trouble, Martell, get in trouble by yourself.
Yeah.
Don't get Chris in trouble now. You get what I'm saying? Go ahead, continue, Blair.
Yeah. Well, they're talking about the situation with the Scotts and everything, and Chris saying that, you know, we're business people in North Huntsville, Chris and Nell, and that goes back to the thing of how we feel like it's like a respect type of thing, to where they're just not respecting their impact in the community that they're trying to give back to. The Scotts are trying to give back to. And Martell says, you know, even the sponsorships were Mel's suggestions. They didn't even think about that before Mel brought it up. And Martell said that, you know, Mel, she should get paid to speak. And she's like one of the best speakers. And she really is. I've heard her speak, you know, on different things.
You actually heard her speak before?
And even I think recently there was some type of award that Carlos King got, and she did like a speech for him and everything. So, I mean, she is a wonderful speaker.
Listen, and I never heard it, but I don't think Martell was doing it because he thinks Mel is a good speaker. He just like, I'm going to get child support. So I think y'all should pay Mel all the money.
So I can get something.
So I can get my share. You know what I'm saying? Because this is the only time that I've ever heard him praise Mel for something that have nothing to do with him. You get what I'm saying? But I'm like, it always got something to do with Martell, right? It's always some secret plan that he has, a thought that he has that's like, why are you praising Mel about her being a great speaker? Why should she get paid?
Right.
Oh, so you can get paid. Okay.
It always goes back to him.
Yeah, I understand. I'm gonna let you go, Blair.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Continue. Well, Martell said that him and Melody basically made the Scotts. Like, we were in business together. The things that they have, they wouldn't have even touched if it wasn't for them.
Yeah.
And I believe it.
That's facts.
And I wouldn't say them, I would say Mel. But I absolutely believe without Mel, they would I think they would have gotten to where they are, but I feel like Mel was a huge push,
a good help,
and a huge resource to get them there even quicker.
Yeah.
So, and the disrespect is annoying. It really is.
Hey, one thing I want to touch on is what Chris was talking about, how they've been in the community for like this long. Mm-hmm. I can see how they could see it as disrespectful, again, harping on the fact that the comeback group haven't done anything.
Yeah.
They had more meetings than Impact. Mm-hmm. And Chris and Nell were just two of them. Mm-hmm. Like, we done more for this community than possibly the six of y'all.
Yeah.
Put together. What do you think about this scene? What do you think about Martell? What? Well,
you know what I think about Martell.
Okay. No, I don't.
Okay. Well, when Martell is talking about he's in a much better place, I don't buy it.
Whoa.
Like, I see it all over his face, even when he's saying that. Like, Martell, I think he's somebody who cares about the look of things and wants to appear a certain way. But when it actually comes down to what's getting done, like, he's actually not moving out of the house, even though he's talking about he has a place to stay.
She count fingers, y'all. That's what I okay.
First. So he's not moving out when he's saying he has a place to stay. Why are you saying you have a place to stay and you're not there? You just want to look like you got something going on, but you don't. And the same thing with this partnership. Thankfully, he had a friend who, had some pity for him and said, like, okay, we can be in business together. Mm-hmm. But like, Martell doesn't have his building license. Mm-hmm. The friend was even trying to say, you went down and you got the paperwork and all this type of stuff. I mean, I can go down to the clerk's office and pick up some paper.
I know you can.
So what that mean?
Okay.
And I'm not like, I do feel like Martell, I don't think anybody should be so down on themselves. Like, I'm not saying that for him to like consider himself a terrible person and think his life is worth nothing.
Of course not.
Because I do think that he can turn his life around and do great things. Mm-hmm. But I just feel like he's not willing to do the work. He just wants to make it seem a certain way, and he just won't put in the effort. And it's like he wants everyone else around him to support him, take care of him, care about him. But it's like you're not even helping yourself, and that's the frustrating part. But you want to make it seem like you're doing so great. And we know you're not. Nobody's fooled. But go ahead.
What's there left to say?
Well, I mean, what did you think about the scene and Martell and the new business partner and, all the type of stuff? What do you think about what's going on?
I just hope that he can supply for himself. That's really all it comes down to. Mm-hmm. I just hope that he can, like, I just hope that he can be back on his feet, whatever he does. Mm-hmm. Suits, wine, books, building, whatever, real estate, whatever it is, just do what you gotta do. I'm just concerned about, hey, man, don't get Chris in trouble.
Yeah.
He's like, I got loyalty to the client. I need you out the house so I can sell the house. They want me to sell the house. Mm-hmm. It's just that plain and simple. Because my thing is, if he is a big realtor in the community, right? Word get around if he's not keeping his word to the client, and that mess up his money. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, hey man, I had this realtor, man. He couldn't get the freaking tenant out my house. Yeah, dude, you get what I'm saying? Yeah. And
that will travel fast.
And that's when. Well, yes, thank you. And I just don't know if it's worth. I don't know if Martell is worth the friendship. That's all I'm getting to. Over your livelihood. Because I'm like, whatever your response is to basically whatever you do, it's not like you threw the rock first, Chris. It's like you're being disrespected and things like that. So it's like you got to do what you got to do for your reputation and for Nell's reputation and for your livelihood. So that's the only thing that I really have concern about. It's like, okay, you're bringing people into your mess that, for one, try to help you. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? Everything about Martell, I can't say anything better than what you said. So I'm not going to try. Anything else on the show?
That is all.
Make sure y'all like, subscribe, comment, all the above. We will be back shortly with the next episode. Y'all be good.
Bye.